Welcome to Cocktails and Closings, where real estate meets real conversation. I'm your host, Eric, blending my world of real estate and mobile bartending to bring you the perfect mix of lifestyle, business, and a little bit of luxury. Whether we're pouring up drinks or closing deals, we're all about elevating the experience. Let's get into it. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of Cocktails and Closings. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. I want to thank all of you for watching the first episode. I definitely didn't think that it was going to get as many views as it did, but I definitely appreciate you guys watching that video. So, episode 2 today, we're back at Simply Divine in Atwater, California. If you haven't followed her, please make sure you do. I'll tag her in the video. I'm going to finish making these, but I want to introduce all of the guests that we have on today. So today we have a couple guests on. We have Miss Patty Vasquez. We have Michelle Loy and Marisa Lewis.
Hi, neighbors.
These three ladies are honestly powerhouses in the real estate industry right now, especially in Merced. They're amazing realtors. They're part of YPN. They do great things in the community. They definitely find that balance between working hard and family life. So they do it all. So I'm excited to have them on today. We're going to talk about where they are in their real estate journey, and we're definitely going to talk about Merced YPN. And those of you who don't know what Merced YPN is, it's the Young Professionals Network. And these three ladies obviously are kind of spearheading the Merced YPN. So we're definitely going to get into that. Today's drink, we are going to be making the classic Cuban mojito today. So mojitos are super simple. They're pretty much just rum, lime juice, simple syrup, mint, and that's it. But it's such a refreshing cocktail. For those of you who don't know, the mojito started out obviously in Cuba, and it basically became their national drink. So there's so many different variations to it. You can do strawberry mojitos, you can do coconut mojitos, you can do pineapple mojitos. Like there's so many different variations to the drink. But today we are going to be doing just the classic lime mojito. So we'll start it out. So we get our tin, of course, always ice in the tin. We'll go with 2 ounces of white rum. We're going to go with 1 ounce of simple syrup. You don't want it to be too sweet. So you definitely want to, highlight the lime and the mint in the drink. So, and then we're going to go with 1.5 ounces of lime juice. And then, of course, the star of the show, we're going to drop some mint leaves in there, get that going. So if you don't know, whenever you put mint in any type of drink, you always want to make sure that you release the aromas and the oil in the mint. So a lot of people don't know that, but that's really what releases that oil and everything into the drink. So you want to just take some mint. The easiest way to do it is to just take some mint in your hand, just kind of slap it in your hand, kind of give it a quick little rough it up a little bit. That's usually the quickest way to do it. Some people will put it in a glass and muddle it with some lime. However you decide to do it, but that's honestly the quickest way to do it. Just put it in your hand, kind of clap it a little bit, give it a just kind of rough it up a little bit, and that'll open up kind of the pores in the leaves and release our oil into the drink. Okay, so we want to drop that in. Now we're going to shake it up. And again, you want to just shake your tin, till it gets cold, till you see it get frosty. That's how you know everything is kind of mixed together, right? So typically with the drink, after you shake it, especially if you have a drink that has any type of mint leaves in it, or any type of fruit that could kind of break up. Even if you have a drink that has a lot of that you put a lot of ice in the shaker, you'll get some shards of ice and bits of fruit into the drink. So when we pour this out, we're going to make sure that we strain it, and that'll kind of get all of those extra mint leaves and all of that stuff out of there. Okay, but before we do that, we're going to put some ice in our cup. Well, we're going to drop a couple mint leaves in each glass today. And also we're going to drop a couple limes in each as well. You're going to do that. This is a kind of a good time, and I like to do this. Like I don't like to muddle the or the mint when I put it into the shaker. I like to do that directly in the glass. So after we put in the mint and the lime into each glass, we're going to just take the muddle and just kind of muddle that. You don't want to muddle it too much, because then you'll have those, you'll get the mint leaves will start to break up, and then whoever's drinking it, you're going to be getting bits of mint leaves in your mouth and things like that. So we don't want to muddle it too much, but just to kind of get some of that lime juice extracted, get some of the oils again from the mint into the drink as well. So just kind of lightly muddle it, okay? And after we do that, now we're just gonna go ice in each glass. And you want to do a fair amount of ice in your glass. The mojitos are a summer cocktail, so obviously a lot of times people drink them when it's hot outside, when it's warm outside. So we definitely want to make sure that you're getting a lot of ice in there. You want to make it cool and refreshing for people. Okay, so I'm gonna put ice in the glass, and we're gonna get our shaker open, which I can never open, but we'll get there. Okay. And then we're going to get our strainer. And then you want to take some club soda, and we're going to top each with some club soda. We're going to garnish it with a lime wedge and another mint sprig. And there you have it, the classic mojito. So again, super easy drink, super refreshing. It's got a lot of great elements to it. The mint with the lime and the soda water and all of that, it blends really well together. So again, if you want to try it out, if you want the recipe that we use at Premier Bartending, please message me, hit me up, and we'll definitely get that over to you, and you can enjoy a cool, refreshing mojito. With that being said, I'm going to turn over to Patty, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Don't look so excited. You rolled your eyes like, oh, great.
I gotta talk now.
Oh, yeah, you have to talk now. But you're coming on a podcast. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So you got it. So again, Miss Patty Vasquez.
My name's Patty. I'm with Keller Williams. I'm the chair of YPN this year. I'm also part of the advisory board at a state level for YPN. A lot about what YPN is or what YPN does is, like he said, it's a Young Professionals Network. So it's a subcommittee of MCAR, the Merced Board of Realtors. And what we do essentially is we raise money for the housing affordability, which helps low-income families achieve home ownership. But also, every year we pick different organizations, nonprofit, that need help or need funds, whether that's help in like strength and manpower or help in financially, and try to pick different organizations every year and partner with them and help in that way the community, not just people who are trying, because the misconception is like you guys are just trying to help people like achieve home ownership. Yeah, of course that's our goal, because most of us are lenders and realtors, right? But we also try to give back to the community and help in other ways. Like this year, we're partnering with Valley Crisis Center. We're doing the juvenile delinquency system. We're helping back or giving back to the autism, Carlos Autism. We're partnering with Merced Union High School District and giving scholarship. So we do more than just housing affordability or achieving home ownership. In the community, we have people from all kinds of backgrounds. So we have realtors, we have lenders, we have bartenders / realtors. We have an inspector, we have a tax person, we have a notary person, we have Don's Mobile Glass, we have Huffman Security. So really, it's not just realtors and lenders. And then this year, I have the privilege to have 2 vice chairs. Usually it's just 1 vice chair, but we decided 2 was better. And so we have Michelle Loy with Realty Executives and Marisa Lewis with Realty Executives, which both are my vice chairs this year. And so I'll hand it over that way.
Okay, so like Patty said, my name is Michelle Loy. I've been with Realty Executives for 3 years, but I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I bought my first house when I was 20 years old, giving my age away a little bit there. Yeah, so I've flipped houses. I have a bunch of rental properties right now too. So I've always been in real estate in some shape or form. I did lending for a little while and other things. Yeah, I love real estate. My specialty is first-time home buyers. Really love working with them, seeing the joy on their faces and stuff when they
Right.
get those keys.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm looking at some other ventures. I'm going to be starting here soon too, stepping into some maybe a little bit of commercial too,
Nice.
but don't want to lose my residential real estate. I love
course.
that. It gives me joy and pride.
I'm Merced Lewis. I'm with these lovely ladies and have a privilege to share with all of them the responsibility of helping make things smooth on YPN. I've been in real estate. I started off in 2007 in property management and carried on with that for a bit until we began to start a family, my husband and I, who is also a realtor, and have been in the business probably since about 2015. And so we've just kind of been tag teaming with our clients and operating in residential primarily. I think that's my favorite too, working especially with first-time home buyers. But I'm not shying away from investors or other people that need assistance finding the homes. But yes, it's just something new or just refreshing about giving someone the keys for the first time to a house and helping them build that generational wealth and making something that seemed impossible possible for them.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where I really find my passion.
Yeah, it's definitely such a satisfying thing, and I didn't know that both of you were in property management. It's funny because that seems to be such a segue for people. Like you start in
to
property
real
management, and then
estate.
it's like I might as well just get my real estate license. Like I feel like I'm halfway there because it was kind of the same thing for me. You know, I had started. I started out in property management, and I kind of had the same thought. Like I should just get my real estate license. I'm kind of like 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out, so it's like I gotta just commit and do it. So that definitely seems to be like definitely a segue for people. So that's awesome. I didn't know that you guys were in that. I know Patty does property management stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started backwards. So I got my real estate license first. Been doing that for almost 5 years and then kind of started putting my foot on the door in property management as of last year.
Okay.
I like both. I love selling houses. I love doing commercial. I love helping families find a home to rent and then essentially, guide them to buy. I think what I really enjoy bottom line is helping others
Yeah.
in one shape or form.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's kind of these ladies in the nutshell. So I appreciate all of you, you guys sharing that with everyone and sharing that with me. Like I said, I learned new stuff about you guys that I didn't know. So that's great. So I appreciate you guys sharing. So, of course, like we kind of touched on before, Merced YPN is a big part of you guys' lives right now, so and I know Patty kind of touched on it in her intro. So as far as YPN, I mean, what is your goal for YPN and what do you guys want to see YPN accomplish moving forward? Definitely with Patty obviously being the chair and then you guys being, vice chairs, you're going to kind of be following her, into next year. So like I said, I want you to kind of touch on what you want the goal for the rest of the year to be with YPN, and what you hope to achieve and accomplish. And then we can turn over to you guys and you guys kind of tell us what you guys think, moving forward, what you guys want to see. But before we do that, I made the drinks. So let's backtrack a little bit. I made the drinks. So if you don't know, Premier Bartending, we do cocktails, but we also do mocktails as well. Miss Patty and Miss Marisa do not drink, so we made mocktails for them. So if you want the mocktail recipe for the mojito that we are making today, again, message me, hit me up. Okay?
Gotcha.
Sorry. Go ahead.
What do I want to see YPN go this year?
That's true.
I want us to get YPN of the year again. That was an award that we got 2 years ago when Hector was the chair, and it's definitely achievable. How we're getting there is through the events that we do, keeping our team engaged and continue to grow. I do see where we are today versus where we were 3 or 4 years ago as far as recognition and people knowing that we exist. Just first and foremost in the community, like it's been a huge change, right? Like now people come and ask, I want to be part of, versus before we used to like beg people or kind of like, come on, please. So I would like to see continue to grow. I would like to see us continue to partner with more organizations like the Juvenile Delinquency System and help kids in that way that need help or mentorship. And then I would like to see them both take a role at a state level, right? Because everybody, I feel like on some shape or form, are afraid of taking a step as a vice chair and a chair. And then you mentioned state level. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. And it's probably like way easier than doing chair at a local level, at least in my experience. And so I would like for that for them, but that's up to them.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So how do you think? I know you said, being at the state level, you feel like it's easier than being at, the local level. Like, how do you feel like it's
How
easier?
is it different?
Yeah, and how's it different?
At a state level, we just meet once a month, right? And we plan our forums each quarter. We have three, or actually it's not even 3 quarters, but we have 3 events out of the year, or conferences where we meet and we plan a forum and all that. And that's about it. At a local level, there's an event going on every month. So it takes so much time for that one day out of the month to get to there. There's so much going behind the scenes. There's the marketing, there's the calling people, there's the collecting money, adding the money, doing the expenses, flyers, renting the venue and all that. So you don't
Filming
have
content.
to do that. Yeah, doing content. You don't have to do any of that at state level. You kind of show up, and you know that when you show up, you're going to give your all. That's one thing that we all know about each other at a state level. We're going to show up and we're going to give our all. We're not going to give our half. And then at a local level, sometimes you still have to pull teeth and like bring people together. And so I guess when you have a bigger commitment, you kind of hold yourself also to a bigger standard. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. So where do you guys see YPN going next year after, I guess maybe after Patty's done with her term? Where do you want to see YPN go, or where do you want to see YPN achieve?
I guess I'll go. Like I piggyback off what Patty said, though, and we just want to see it. I want to see it to continue to grow, continue to bring in more affiliates and stuff, not just realtors. I like the diversity and getting the different thoughts and opinions on stuff that we should be doing, things that don't work for us. Also trying new events and stuff, which we are trying a couple new events this year. We tried a couple new events last year, finding out what does work for us, what the community actually likes and enjoys. It's not all fundraising events that we do. We do educational events. We do just giving back to the community and in charity and in our time. So I like seeing, like Patty said, we're doing something every month, but we're doing a variety of things every month. So I feel like in the beginning of YPN, it was all just about fundraising. Pretty much. We would do a lunch and learn once a quarter, but otherwise it was fundraising, where I feel like we're doing a lot more of that, and I just want to continue to see that grow.
For me, I like both of their ideas too. And what I'd like to see is more community engagement. I'd like us to do more partnership with other nonprofits, like the Juvenile Delinquent program too, but also inviting the high schoolers out to volunteer. And we've had people that have reached out recently to, look for those hours, but more of the partnership with the nonprofits, helping them too, because it is the case that we do right now, a lot of events, but it's like we're coming up with the ideas, we're coming up with the venue, we're coming up with finding the sponsors and everything. And I would like for us to be able to utilize our time just to be able to be a helping hand and a little bit more partnership, maybe whether that's like helping to
everything.
yes, like distributing food for people, or for volunteering at say a convalescent home or something to read. Or I'd like to see a variety too of the people that we are attracting to participate in the events. I know that we do the golf tournament and the rib cook-off for some of the ones that we've done in the past that are our larger fundraiser type events, but I'd like to see some more that kind of are family friendly, that involve some of the youth or other groups of people, just a little bit more variety. I know when we were at the Ledge Day this past week, we had a YPN forum, and some of the other YPN groups that are in other counties had shared that they do things like kickball tournaments too.
Right.
And that's something that I've been wanting to do, either like a softball or kickball
Yeah,
tournament,
yeah.
something that is a little bit more diverse and brings out some sort of fun
Yeah, absolutely.
and things too. So
Right.
yeah, just a couple ideas on the horizon.
Yeah, of course, of course. So you're big into community service and giving back to the community, and that's
I want
amazing.
things that
like,
people want to come to that
absolutely.
are affordable for them to
Yes.
come to, like
Yeah.
maybe like a father-daughter dance or like a
Yeah.
mother-daughter tea or something that is, speaks to all incomes that they can come participate. I know that we have our fundraisers, but sometimes the price that they're at
Mhm.
may exclude some
Difficult
people
for
that they
people
can't
to,
be
yeah.
able to participate in. So,
Okay.
I
So
think
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no.
Go ahead.
Good. Some of the changes that we see this year, like the Speed Network, I can't take all the work or the credit for, right? Or like Monprom, because those were their ideas. One thing that you see different this year that we didn't see in previous years is the 2 vice chairs. That was like, I need 2 people. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it with one. And then as the years go by, when Marisa takes over, like you said, she's all about community. So you guys are going to see a lot more of community involvement. I'm all about efficiency and getting things done, and then Michelle has her own spirit too. So then when Michelle takes over, then it'll be a little different than that and so forth.
Yeah.
It's nice that we
Definitely.
were able to do that, though. It's
Yeah.
so we don't get stagnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like
I think that's the beauty in it,
Yeah.
and that we have so many different people that come into it too. And I mean, we've had Chelsea being new this year, and she's helped us out a
She's
lot.
great.
Right.
And with Nye doing a lot of
great,
different things,
too.
Sasha, and I'm really happy with, like, we know that we don't do it all on our own and everything, and so it's just nice to have that collaboration and the ideas and the feet on the ground, boots
Yeah.
on the ground that are
Boots on
there
the
to
ground.
help us with things, and Eric and just all the different personalities and things we have. Yeah.
I mean, how do you balance everything? Because you bartend, you corporate manage, you sell, you are a dad, you DJ.
You want the short answer?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. I don't balance anything. I'm like, what do I have to do today? I have to do this. All right, cool. I have to go there. All right, we'll get it done. So, I mean, it's definitely hard to find the balance, between, my regular 9 to 5 job with real estate, with DJing, with bartending, being a father, being a husband. Like it's hard to find that balance, and I try my best. I try my best, and there's times when I'm just like, all right, we gotta plan a date night. Like we gotta do, like we have to do something. Like last night, we got to go to Fresno to see Joe Coy, and it was great. Like we went out and we had dinner before, and then we went to the show, and it was just nice. And my parents are always willing to watch the baby, and that makes it easier because it's just like we know that he's comfortable, we know that he's in good hands. Like if anything happens, I know they'll call, but. So it's hard to find the balance, between everything that I do. But I mean, you just find a way to make it happen. Like, I was telling somebody the other day, like I try to time block and try to balance my day so much. So then it's like when someone calls and they're like, hey, I want to go see this house. And I'm like, this wasn't on the schedule.
You're
But
not
I'm
my
like,
calendar.
yeah, but it's like I'll like give me like 10 minutes and I'll be there. You know what I mean? So you find a way to make it work,
Yeah.
and I know it's hard for all of us, and we all have things going on. We all have kids and soon to be grandkids. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to find that balance, but you find a way to make it work, and I think it's important to have the family support at home, and you have that family that's always like, hey, I know you got to go do this. Like today, it was like I was running around like crazy this morning because we got in so late from the show last night. I didn't really have time to like prep things last night, so I was trying to do it this morning. And my wife was like, well, I got the baby, just go do what you got to do. And
Aw.
it makes it easy, it makes it easy when you've got that support and you've got family support and you've got your kids support and your husband, and it just makes it easier.
Yeah.
But how do the three of you find the balance to do all of this? Because I know it's hard. You do a lot. I know you do a lot. And I know, and Marisa, you've got your kids and all of that. And I know it's hard to find that balance. So, I mean, how do you guys find that balance between, work life, home life, and you know, date nights and all everything else. Like, how do you guys find that balance?
You want me to go first?
You can go
Okay.
first.
I like what one, and since you were all there when she said it, a lady that was on a panel this past week had got that similar question. She's a mom as well, and she said that she doesn't do balance, it's more of a harmony. And then she explained it, and it sounded almost just like work-life balance concept. So then I was a little bit confused. But I find that, you know, we just kind of prioritize whatever needs to be done in that day by day. We take it day by day, and whatever's our top 3, we kind of prioritize that. We block, you know, our schedule off, doing the time blocking. I have, you know, my list, like my to-do list, and then I have my, you know, monthly calendars. And if it's not on the calendar, then it's just not gonna happen.
It's not gonna get done. I get it.
I live by that. And then, like you said, though, you sometimes you have to leave room for flexibility because what if somebody gets sick, or what if, you know, you get that call and there's a listing appointment. You're like, okay, drop everything. I'll be back. You know.
Yeah. And as you know, as realtors, it's hard because you never know when you're going to get that call. You never know when someone's going to be like, hey, you know, I've been looking at this house and it hit the market, and you're just like, okay, well, we can't miss this opportunity. So you got to find a way, you know, but
I do try to, like, if I have like certain windows, which I do keep some windows open, like I know which days work best for me. But if that doesn't work best for the prospect or client, then I'm like, okay, this is where I have to be, you know, a little bit more flexible. But it's nice, though, that I have Larry, too, or, you know, even I partner with Michelle sometimes where we can kind of tag team, like, can you go show this property? It's out in Modesto, and I know you're going that way anyway today. So, yeah.
For me, I'm good at, I mean, I have the advantage over these 2 ladies and you now. You know that my kids are all grown. So I look back and I think, how did I do it then? You know, and you just live through it. Like, you don't really pay attention. And then one day everything's just changed and you have more free time. But I am a very hard component on taking my time too. I'm like, Sundays are typically my day. Like, you don't mess with me on Sundays.
No. Sorry for cutting into your you time today. My bad.
But like Marisa said, and I said, you still do have to have some flexibility. You know, if I have a client come down from the Bay, I know they're only available Saturday and Sunday. Of course, I'm going to meet with them. But then following week, I'm like, okay, no, I didn't get to do that last week, so this Sunday is family day. You know, and refocusing. I'm good on Sunday dinners, like. We get together, play games or watch a movie or whatever together as a family. And then I actually have my Tuesday nights that are mine, like after 4 o'clock. That's me.
Tuesday,
Every Tuesday.
I know her
right?
schedule.
I know that.
That's nice.
But I'm a big component on that. You have to have time for yourself too. You have to recharge your battery and do what makes you happy. So and date nights. You got to keep dating all through your relationships. You have to keep dating.
It's funny that you say that because I think I had texted you one time, and I might have been on a Tuesday, and I think I'd asked you a question, and it was like, Michelle has your notification silence, and I was like, it's 5 o'clock, and I was like, I know she's not sleeping, and I was like, it's 5 o'clock, and I was like, she'll get back to me, it's fine. But
it's Tuesday 5 o'clock.
But now I know not to text Michelle after 4 o'clock on a Tuesday.
No, text me because then I'll be able to follow up.
She
with
can
you.
look at it and decide.
You can look at it and say, no, I don't want to text him back today. It's fine.
Eric.
He can wait. So, that's funny.
But I feel like if you don't do that, though, then you're overworking yourself so much and you'll have the burnout. So
absolutely.
And maybe because I'm older than everybody else here, but it's just like you gotta do that. You
have to have breathing room.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you? How do you find the balance?
Ooh, that's hard. I think my kids are grown. Like, you know, my son's gonna be 18 in a month, and my daughter's gonna be 15. So they're older. So they're definitely more flexible. They know what I do for a living, and they like what I do. So they are part of that, right? Like, they'll go show houses with me, or he'll pick up my daughter or whatever. So in that sense, it's a lot more flexible. Balancing, it's hard, and I'll say it's hard. Why? Because I choose to put so many things on my plate. Like, I'm going to college and I'm pursuing all these things that I put on pause at a certain point in my life for a reason, and now I'm picking up. So I just got to remind myself the why, right? Like the
Right.
reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And somebody shared at the conference too, like, I'm not doing this for you just to have a better education or a Disney trip. I'm doing this for when you are my age, you have the tools and the skills to succeed in this town.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I put it that way, it's like, I'm not going to say no to a client. I'm not going to say no to a city council meeting. I'm not going to say no to like participating in a committee. I'm just going to find that one Sunday out of the month where like I turn my phone off.
Mhm.
And that's me, right? Like I went on a 10-day silence retreat earlier this year, and that was my disconnect.
Yeah.
I'm gone for 2 weeks. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Do nothing, right? And then I come back fully energized, and I'll do it for another 12 months,
Yeah.
and then I'll disconnect again for 2 weeks.
Nice.
But yeah.
There's also the short-term sacrifices too. Like Patty said, she's going to school right now, on top of everything else she's doing, she's going to school. But there's a short-term sacrifice that she's making right now to advance herself in the future,
Right.
So
Absolutely.
we definitely live in those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't say no to a lot of things, but I'm learning to protect my yes
Yeah.
on things.
Yeah.
I don't need to be present for everything. I don't need to volunteer for everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to be the first one to step up when there is a need. So I'm learning to step back a little
Yeah.
bit and to delegate a little more, so that so that as a team or as a family or whatever it is in the position that I'm in, that everything gets done efficiently and I'm not having to drain myself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's grown a lot. Thank
Yeah.
you for having us.
Of course. Of course.
Oh.
I'm glad the three of you could be here. It's like I said, you guys were my first guests, so this is kind of a learning experience for me too. But I definitely I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate you, all of you guys sharing, and everything. It's great. Like I mentioned in the first episode, I want to use this platform as a way to not just showcase myself, but also to give others a platform too, to get out there and be out there. I want to help people celebrate those wins. I don't, it's funny because when we were watching Joe Coy last night, that was one of the things that he said. He was just saying like it's so important to celebrate other people's wins. Like there's enough to go around for everybody. Everybody's going to win. Everybody's going to have their moment when it's like, okay, I won this one, and it's important to celebrate that, so I'm definitely all about that. I like, giving other people the opportunity to have a platform to talk about whatever it is they want to talk about, and getting out there and reaching the public and things like that. I mean, I know this is something small that I'm doing, but I'm excited for the potential for it. So I definitely felt like it was necessary to have the three of you on for the first episode.
Thank you.
To definitely showcase YPN, what you guys have coming up, and what you guys do and just on a day-to-day basis, in work, family life, all that other stuff. So with that being said, what I want one of you guys can talk about upcoming events that YPN has coming up. And
Yeah, we have a rib cook-off June 26th at the Merced Association. There's going to be food, music, raffles, lots of fun. We're still looking for sponsorships. We're still looking for teams. A team entry is only $200. That just covers the ribs. That's about it. We don't take anything on that. So yeah, if you are interested or know anybody that's interested, message me. And then we have Mom Prom coming up August 1st. The flyer should be out soon. And then after that, we have the taco trip, but that's at the end of the year.
And we'll be announcing
we'll
our
touch.
Teacher of the Year
Yes.
award
Yes.
in just about a week or two. We'll see. I'm planning it out with the schools when we surprise the teacher. So
Nice.
keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
And then in December, we have the Atwater Christmas Festival too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right.
those
Nice.
are our big events that we have coming
Yeah,
up.
absolutely. Yeah, so make sure you look out for those flyers. I will tag Merced YPN in this post so that you guys can follow them, and you can have all this information at your fingertips. So before we close out, I definitely want to ask you guys a couple questions that are not, I don't want to say off base, but for newer agents, and you all have experience in the game, and you guys are all veterans in the game and things like that. So what's one piece of advice that you guys would give to newer agents that are just getting their licenses, that are just getting into real estate? What's one piece of advice that you would give them that would help them succeed?
Our office does a mentorship program, and that is why I joined our office. That was something that I knew going in, that I've been in real estate for all these years, but I didn't know all the ins and outs of what it takes to be a real estate agent.
Right.
So it was really nice having a mentor that guided us along the way in that. One thing I would say not to do, I learned the hard way, is Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't do the Facebook ads.
Yeah.
At least it didn't work for me anyways. So then I'll give it over to the other ladies.
Yeah, I was gonna say pick a mentor, which you touched on that, and also like don't give up. They say only 20% of realtors make it past the 5-year mark. So when I heard that early on in my career, I said, well, I'm gonna be part of that 20%, no matter what. And you have no idea how many times I've failed in those 5 years, and I just had to give up. I mean, get up and continue, continue to go. So don't give up.
Yeah.
I'd say don't go into it blindly. Talk to some of the brokers or the mentors or fellow realtors and find out some of the behind the scene things like fees and, desk fees and, dues, MLS dues, and the subscriptions and all that, all the costs that it will take in order to be able to make it to past the 5-year point. Because when you get in it, if you decide, okay, I'm just going to be a realtor overnight, and you quit your day job, you may struggle for a bit to find out, the hard way. So find out what it all entails prior to just taking the leap into something, and maybe have some savings set aside, a couple months worth of savings. So that way, you don't have to go through the struggle of, when closings are a little bit drier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Marissa touched on a great point, is that people go in and they see the dollar signs, right, in real estate. They don't realize all of the fees and everything that come along with that too. So
And
just
not even,
educate yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
and not even just the money, but the stress and the thing. I mean, sometimes people think, I'm going to go into real estate because I'm going to be my own boss, and I'm going to have my own schedule, and I only want to work this many days of the week. You're going to have to be probably available in order to make it in the beginning, like 8 days a week. Like you have to kind of, set yourself up for that expectation.
That's a great piece of advice, because that was kind of one thing when I started in real estate that I didn't know. Like I met with Sarita and was like, oh, like I got my license, and she was like, oh, these are your dues. And I was like, what? What? And I was like, this is how much I have to pay, like, just to be a real. And I was like, okay. And
then she goes, yearly. It's not a one-time fee. It's yearly.
Quarterly and yearly.
And I got my license at the beginning of the year.
But you had to pay to do that too.
Right, exactly. But I got it like the beginning of the year, so I had to pay. Yeah. And I was like, man, this is crazy. And then I was like, I have to do this every year. And she's like, yep.
I always tell people, it takes money.
Yes.
It takes money to make money.
Yeah.
You're not going to make money if you don't invest on it.
Yeah.
It's,
Absolutely.
But yeah, it is a lot when you're starting up.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of switching from yourselves kind of to clients, what is one piece of advice or one thing that you always tell people when they come to you and they say, hey, I want to start the home buying process? What's the number one thing you always tell them? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on.
Have you talked to a lender?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate seeing the disappointment on somebody's face when you're showing them the houses, and then they want to put the offer in, and you're like, you can't put an offer in. Like they'll take your offer, they'll look at it, but Joe over here put an offer in, he's got his pre-approval.
Right.
And so more than likely they're going to go with Joe because he's already started the process.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so get your pre-approval first. You can meet with me. I have preferred lenders that I can refer you to, but do that first.
Right. Yeah.
I'm big on educating. Being a past teacher, I like to sit down with clients and really educate them through the process. And I will talk for a long time. Michelle knows,
We
just
all
because
know.
I will be patient with them so that they get it. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to be able to ask me any type of questions. I want them to, be able to feel like I'm, serving them in that way,
Yeah,
and
you want
that
them
they
to feel
can
like you're
trust
on
the
their team.
process,
Yeah.
and I want them to just, not feel incompetent going into it. And you're buying the biggest probably purchase of your life, and
Absolutely.
I want them to feel prepared in all their decision making.
Yeah.
So I think something, I don't know if Patty does this too, but I know Marissa and I both do, is they talk about seller presentations all the time, right? You go in, you talk to the sellers, but we also do buyer presentations so that we can educate our
Right.
clients and stuff.
Right.
We want to make sure that they have everything
The
that they need
knowledge.
throughout the process. And then
Absolutely.
I also follow up with that throughout the whole process. I'll have another conversation. Okay, we put your offer in, we've been accepted. This is what we got to do now, and
Yes.
have those conversations with
Yeah.
them.
It's like holding their hand the whole way through,
Yeah.
because I know some people go into it in the dark and they don't understand what they're doing, and they're just like, okay, sign where? Okay, here, and where do I need to send my money to and everything? And I don't want my clients to feel that way. I don't want them to feel like they don't know what's going on in the process. So we'll
Absolutely.
talk about it, and then, like she said, we'll go over the whole spiel in the beginning. It's almost like the syllabus.
Yeah.
And then each week, each time we have a new step, I explain, and
Yeah.
so I just want them to always feel informed.
Yeah.
And educated.
Absolutely. How important do you guys feel like it? I feel like a lot of what we do, and I mean, talking to people about finances and buying a house and all this other stuff, is not taught in school anymore. Like, how important do you guys think that is?
Crucial.
It's okay. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. I was lucky enough, like growing up, my parents taught me that. It's like, this is how you balance a checkbook. And I was like, who needs to know how to balance a checkbook? Like, I was like, I just swipe the card. Like, I don't need to do all that. But it's like, looking back at it now, I'm like, man, like, I'm glad that they taught me this stuff.
It does,
Because it's
yeah.
like, I didn't learn it in school, and it's like, I wasn't going to learn it anywhere else. So it's, I'm, but not all kids have that. Not all kids have those parents to say, hey, this is how you do things. This is what this means. This is what you don't do. This will ruin your credit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just don't have that. And I feel like it's so important for schools to have that. And, I have nieces and nephews that are in high school right now, and it's just like, oh yeah, like, I'm taking Spanish because I have to. And I'm just like,
No, you need financial,
And I'm like,
economic
okay.
type.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I understand, that's a requirement for you to graduate, but it's like, what about, learning, what about
Learning how to
learning about your
budget.
Yes.
right,
that
exactly,
budgeting.
exactly. So I feel like that's so important. So definitely.
I think that's a 20 out of 10. I mean, like,
Right.
we're failing our kids in that way by not educating them on finances and the stock market and things. They get just a little tidbit, like maybe 1 hour out of their whole high school career.
Yeah.
And they get taught about economics or the stock market or balancing a checkbook, which I know nobody really has a checkbook anymore, but you still need to know, like, the budget, like, this is my outgoing bills every month. This is the income I have coming. Oh, wait, I'm not making enough money. Right. Oh, now I got to put money on credit cards. Yeah. Well, then that's just a rabbit hole.
You still got to pay that credit card at some point.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I have a checkbook somewhere in my house. I have no idea where it's at, but it's
checks, but not the register.
Yeah, I have one. It's in my house somewhere. Like, I'm gonna go home and look for it, and I'll be like, I found it. But I never use that. I don't think I've ever written a check. I maybe after I graduated high school.
I still use mine.
Yeah, I use my checks for occasional things that you have to, but yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so to close out, I want each of you to kind of touch on what is a goal that you've set for yourself this year, a personal goal that you've set for yourself this year, and how do you plan on accomplishing that goal? You're digging deep in the bag.
You're digging
Right?
deep in there.
But it's
We're at the
starting over
bottom
there.
of the bag.
I'll say one thing. There's two things that I said I accomplished this year, but one of them was, how can I take a step back from taking on more? Because at one point, or when I ended last year, I was just like taking on more and more and more. And learning to say no and staying firm on my no. Because we can all say no, but then we go back and like, okay, let me help you. Okay, let me do it. And so learn to say no and stay firm on my no. That was one thing. And I'm doing pretty fair on it. Yeah.
I defer on it too until it's my son, and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, okay, fine.
Okay, fine, here.
Yeah.
It's always the kids.
Yeah, I know. He looks at me with those eyes. I'm like, bro, all right, take it and go. Don't tell mom, but go. So, what about you?
Personal thing I'm working on this year is forgiveness. So I have issues in my past, and so I'm just working on forgiving the things that happened. I don't have to forget them, but I can forgive them.
Absolutely.
It's a good one.
Personal thing I'm working on. So we're in a leadership class right now, and supposed to graduate towards the fall. But one of the projects we had is to pick a word that we're focusing on, and that would be for me perspective, and just kind of keeping things positive, because there's an outlook that you can have, and we can start to get, oh, woe is me, or complain about things. So I'm just trying to remember the season that I'm in, and prioritize, being present with my kids, and, be more efficient with when I am at work. But yeah, just keeping perspective. I'm blessed and highly favored to have, my family and the business and everything, and not compare to other people or what they're doing right now, but just to focus on that positivity and everything. So just, my goal is just to keep a positive outlook on things and maintain that perspective.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank the three of you again for coming by today. Sorry for cutting into your Sunday time, but I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys again for coming by, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in to episode 2 of Cocktails and Closings. As I mentioned before, I will tag these three ladies, and I will tag Merced YPN in the post so that you can follow along with them, get updates about upcoming events that they have going on. Also, make sure that you follow the channel, the Cocktails and Closings channel. I'll tag that too. Please, if I can give you one piece of advice to take away from this today, like my sign says, today is a good day to have a good day. Just have a good day. Just have a good day. That's it. Nothing else. Just have a good day.
Just have a good day.
That's all. Just have a good day. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please tune into the next episode. We will have Francisco Guerrero from Nexa Mortgage on. So please make sure you tune into that.
He was
you
part
guys
of
next time.
YPN. So
Yeah, I know.
That's good.
I know.
Yeah. Pick his brains. Still is.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.